All right. Can everyone still see my second screen with the slides? Should.
I see the slide that says this session will be recorded.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get started with the first one. So, just going off for some important dates. It's important to keep these in mind. So next Monday, I believe, is when you're able to enroll through your window. So you can view your enrollment window through WebReg, and I'll cover that in later slides. But just remember to keep in mind, just note down when your date and time is so that you are able to log in onto WebReg and register for your classes so you don't miss out on anything. A month from that is the fee deadline. So make sure you pay your tuition by then, otherwise they'll drop you from your classes. December 17th is when waitlists are released. December 20th is when they lift the 18 unit max. So up until then, you can only enroll in 18 units. Past that, you can petition to enroll in more. And then January 3rd is when the winter quarter begins. So just a couple of days to keep in mind. So moving on, this is a great resource that I wanted to share for planning your schedule. And Almanac is a really great way to visualize your class schedule. So you can view the schedule here, and then you select the ones you want to enroll in, and it'll show up on a calendar like this, and it basically shows your class schedule for the whole week. Just keep in mind that this doesn't enroll you in classes. It's just a way to visualize what a class schedule could look like for next quarter. And just keep in mind that you should note down all the dates and times and the course codes for the classes that you want to take, because that's what you'll input into WebReg to enroll in them. Sorry. So using the schedule of classes, this can be accessed on the registrar's website. You go to this tab that says schedule of classes. Obviously, you would enter the quarter here. So for next quarter, it's winter 2022. Select your department. So if you're a chemie like me, then you use CBE or whatever major you have. Then you can also enter a class number here if you know the course code you need to take. So for example, I know I have to take CBE 140B, so I would put 140B here. But if you're just looking for general classes in that major, then you can leave it blank and then just hit display web results, and it'll show you all the classes that are offered in that department. So when you hit display web results, you'll see something like this. It'll be a longer page listing on all the classes. A couple of key things to keep in mind. This is the class name here up here. The code is what you'll enter into WebReg when you want to enroll in it. Yeah, and then your date and time will be here. There's also more sections after this area that says where you can buy textbooks, and it also says course restrictions. So if you're a CBE, for example, these courses are restricted only for chem CBE majors, basically. So keep a note that you can check that at the bottom of the page as well. And then the type of class will be here. So a lot of times you'll have a lecture and a discussion. Sometimes you'll have a lab as well. And you need to enroll in all three or all two of those course components. Otherwise, you won't be able to register for the class and it'll drop you automatically. And then last but not least, check your prereqs up here and make sure that you are able to enroll and that you meet all of the requirements. And I'll cover later on how you can petition to substitute a prereq, or if you want to clear a prereq taken at community college later on as well. So once you have all your course code and you know what you want to take, when your enrollment window rolls around, you're going to come onto WebReg. Same thing, you can access it through the registrar's website. Go to WebReg, access WebReg, and this page will show up here once you log in. So your enrollment menu this is where you'll add or drop classes. Your enrollment window is where you can view what time and date you can start to enroll in classes. Your fee status obviously displays whether your fees have been received, and then your class schedule will be here after you enroll in classes. So yeah, this is what the main window will look like. And then once you hit enrollment window, you'll see something like this. Sorry, my screen just froze. There you go. Okay. So you'll hit add, you'll enter the course code that you noted down from the classes that you picked. And then everything else you can leave blank, unless you can take a class pass, no pass. But keep in mind that all of your engineering courses have to be taken for a grade. And you cannot take those pass no pass. So I think the only thing you can take pass no pass is maybe, no, everything required for your major has to be taken for a grade. So keep that in mind that most of the time you'll be leaving this one blank. Variable units, you'll only enter something here if you're doing individual research. So for example, if you're taking 199, then you can put in 1 or 2 units, but for the most part, you'll leave this empty. And then authorization code is only if the class has a code that you need to enter. Otherwise, this will also stay blank. So once you have entered all the information, you'll hit send request. It'll take you back to the main menu where you'll have to do the whole process again to enroll in the discussion or the lab or whatever else is part of that class. So before you sign out of WebReg, make sure you enroll in all the classes and all the components of that class. Otherwise, it'll drop you from all of it, and you'll have to do it again. So just make sure you remember to do that. Okay, and then there are some forms you may need. So for example, if you, like I mentioned, if you need authorization for a prereq that you took in community college or you tested out of, you can request a form through the engineering website. If you think you have a prereq that can be substituted with an alternative course, then you can also request a form for this. If you want to take more than 18 units after the limit has been lifted, you can submit a request again through the engineering website. And this is considered on a case-by-case basis. And they look at your previous coursework and your grades and see if they decide if you are able to take on extra units. And then last but not least, if you want to enroll in 199, which is individual study, you also need to submit a form for that. So if you have any questions throughout the enrollment process, I know for weeks 8 and 9, counselors will be super available, both via Zoom and ZotChat. So if you have a quick 5 to 10 minute question and you think it can be resolved very easily, use ZotChat. Yeah, so you can use ZotChat for that. If you have a longer question that you want to have answered by a counselor, I would recommend scheduling a virtual advising session via Zoom. But for the most part, your question should be able to be answered through ZotChat, which is a really great resource, again, available on the Engineering Undergrad Affairs website. It'll pop up automatically, and you can talk to counselors or peer advisors. And if you have any questions about technical electives, more specific questions about majors, you want to learn about research or how to get involved in research or anything else, you can always contact me. I have office hours on Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. And then you can always email me as well. I know Thursday, enrollment begins on Monday, so Thursday might be a little late. So feel free to email me over the weekend or whenever your enrollment window begins for any questions you may have. So that was a lot of information, but using WebReg is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Does anyone have any questions at all? Feel free to use the chat feature or just unmute yourself if you like. And it doesn't have to be related to using WebReg. It can be about anything really.
One of the things I noticed when I was registering for fall quarter was that it seems like there was only one professor or one section teaching each class.
Yeah.
So is it better to register on the first day that enrollment opens?
Yes.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for your major courses, so for example, I'll keep using chemistry as an example because I'm familiar with it. Our classes are in series, and so for CBE 140, the 140 series, only Chem E majors are taking that, and only Chem E majors in their senior year. So it's really reserved for our class and our year only. So there's only going to be one professor for it. So for classes like that, it doesn't matter because there's a spot saved for you anyway. But if you're taking a technical elective or you're taking a course that maybe is open to other majors as well, definitely enroll in it as soon as your window opens, because it's possible they may fill up and then you'll have to take something else, or worst case scenario, you'll have to wait to enroll in it later on. So yeah, as soon as your enrollment window opens, start registering for classes. Just get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about missing a class or anything like that.
All right. Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, there's a question in the chat. I have a time conflict with 2 classes I wanted to take next quarter. Should I try to work it out somehow? Or should I just take the class I need more? Yeah, that's a tough one. If they're both major required, and they're both supposed to be taken in your in your winter quarter, then I would say reach out to the counselors. It might just be an oversight. But if one of them is a technical elective, one of them is a major required course, for example, a course in a series, then definitely take the one that is offered in the series because those are only offered once a year. But yeah, like I said, if it's something that has to be taken in the same quarter, then definitely reach out to a counselor as soon as you can, and see if they can resolve that time conflict. But prioritize the one that's required for your major. Yeah. That is also true. There might be a similar class in another department. Yes. But just be sure that you can, that they will count that course credit for whatever you're using it for. So just double check with the counselor or with the peer advisor that you can take that course and it'll resolve the same requirement as the other course. So just keep that in mind as well.
Thank you, sir. Do you still have office hour on Thursday?
Yes, I do have office hours on Thursday. I know that that's kind of towards the end of the week. So if in the meantime you have questions, you can always email me as well. Or if you just want to talk, just, we can set up something as well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Good day.
I know I moved through the slides a little fast. Any other questions about the general process or using WebReg, anything like that?
Well, I have one question and then a follow-up question maybe. Are you a transfer as well?
Yes, I am a transfer. I transferred from IVC in 2019.
Awesome. Okay. So my follow-up question is that when I created a plan of study with my academic counselor, I noticed that one of the courses was a course that I already took in community college.
Okay.
So should I talk with my counselor to get that resolved? Because I'm not sure if I need that class
Great.
because I already took it.
Yeah. So if you feel like you've already taken a class, then definitely reach out to your specific academic counselor. You can just email them, and they sometimes will take a while to update your degree works, and kind of resolve all those completed classes. So just reach out to your counselor and tell them that, hey, I've already taken this class. Do I need to take it again here? And they'll usually update your degree works after that. But they do take some time to do that. So just reach out to them.
Okay.
Yep. And just a general note about substituting a prereq. So a lot of times if you take a class in another department, your department will have a course that is equivalent to a prereq for that class. So for example, I took an environmental engineering class that had a requirement for the civil engineer or the environmental engineering version of fluid dynamics. And I took the chemical engineering version of that. So that's an example of a class that you can substitute. And all you have to do is reach out to the professor and say, I've taken this class in this department. It completes this prereq for this class. And they'll reach out to the engineering counseling department and approve that decision, and kind of go from there. So that can be done as well. Okay, if there are no more questions, I will to thank you all for attending. Again, you can email me anytime with any questions. Screen keeps freezing. You can email me with any questions at all. I have office hours on Thursday at 3 over Zoom as well. So anytime you have questions, just let me know. And thank you for coming, and I hope it was helpful.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'm going to stop the recording.